Hello, this week is Eating Disorder Awareness Week, so I think it's about time that I talked about mine, as uncomfortable as it is. I have avoidant restrictive food intake disorder, but everyone just calls it ARFID, because it's easier. Just to get some trigger warnings out of the way, obviously my voice has disappeared immediately. Just to get some trigger warnings out of the way, I'm not going to be talking about numbers or sizes or weights or calories. I may mention the words, but nothing really about trends or anything. This is just a brief overview of what ARFID means for me personally, though I will be talking a little bit in general about just what it is. My experience is not the same as everybody else's, and everybody else's is not the same as each other's. It is a hugely varied disorder, and this is just my experience with it. I will be mentioning signs and symptoms, and I also will be discussing emetophobia. Any mention of this will be brief. I will not be talking in detail, just a very brief mention of this is a feeling I have, this is a worry I have. That's it. So what is ARFID? ARFID stands for Avoidant Restrictive Food Intake Disorder. It's a mouthful, so we all just call it ARFID, I think. Some people might spell it out. I've not heard anyone do that. It is an eating disorder, but its roots tend to be different to things like anorexia and bulimia because it's not usually about body image. So mine is not about body image, although it does actually impact my perception of my body, but in a different way. So we restrict food we restrict food based around certain triggers. So it could be anxiety, it could be previous trauma, it could be sensitivity issues, it could be sensory issues, it could be just finding eating a chore. There are so many reasons why people with ARFID restrict food. For me, it is anxiety because I have emetophobia, which is the phobia of vomiting or being sick. Don't ask me why, because I don't know. It's just one of those things that I have for whatever reason, and it has decided to destroy my body. So I avoid foods that I feel like might make me sick. I do genuinely have some food intolerances and allergies which have made me sick, so anything that is close to those foods I will avoid like the plague. People with ARFID tend to restrict not just like individual foods or food groups, we also might restrict quantities. So I constantly feel bloated and a bit gross. So I eat little and often. It is, I want to say it's a sensory thing, I don't know if it is, but I just feel very uncomfortable when I've eaten a lot of food, and then I associate that with if I eat too much I will be sick. It sounds so weird saying it out loud, but here we are. So yeah, my restriction isn't like, oh, I can't eat that much because of this. It's I eat to a point where I start to feel uncomfortable and then I'm like, right, nope, I'm out, I'm done. It isn't based around things like how our bodies look, but it, like I said, for me it does have an impact because I really struggle to gain weight and look how I kind of want to look because I'm kind of stuck in this body that doesn't want to be fed. It's not really fueled by weight or size. There is a big overlap with OCD, with anxiety and with PTSD and things like autism and neurodivergence, which is not an exhaustive list. There are so many reasons why somebody might have ARFID, and there doesn't actually need to be a reason. You can just have ARFID. So like I've said, with me it's emetophobia, anxiety and OCD a little bit. I don't have a formal diagnosis. It is something I'm looking at being assessed for. There are things surrounding like contamination which feed into the emetophobia thing, which would probably class as OCD. ARFID is a hugely varied disorder, and I will only be talking about my experience from here on out, unless I state otherwise in a sentence. So due to my ARFID, I am underweight, I have nutritional deficiencies, which is so much fun, and it has stunted my growth. It's also very stressful, and there is a vicious cycle of like anxiety and embarrassment, and just I have so many feelings about food, and talking about them, people just look at me like, just eat something. I'm like, if only it was that simple. Seriously, don't say that. If you look on the Beat website, which I will put down below in the description, while you're there, like this video, subscribe, etc. It lists all sorts of signs and symptoms of ARFID, and I went down the list and I tick all but 2 of them. So here is how ARFID presents itself to me. Eating a reasonable range of foods but really low quantity. So I used to be really restrictive in terms of what food I ate. When I was growing up, it was chicken dippers and chips with ketchup, sometimes some peas and sweet corn, chicken noodles, and I think I liked chicken pie at one point. That was kind of it. Those were my 3 things that I would eat. Very much not colourful, very much lacking in all of the nutrients you need to be a person. I don't really know why or when that broadened. I think it then moved on to pasta and sauce, and eating at friends' houses really helped, but I was still quite fussy. And then university, and I just sort of, it was embarrassing just having pasta and sauce every night, so I kind of learned to cook a few more things. And then I just became more and more interested in food, but that has not fixed the problem. I now just eat a wider range, but still not enough to really be a person. I don't recognise when I'm hungry. Sometimes I get that feeling of, am I hungry or am I nauseous? And because of my emetophobia, I always go like, oh, it's nausea. Something I'm actively working on, but sometimes I don't recognise that nauseous feeling as, oh, I'm actually hungry and I'm just presenting as nauseous. Sometimes I'm like, oh, it's nauseous, so then I continue to not eat for a prolonged period of the day until that feeling is completely gone, and then I'm still very tentative in when I eat. Feeling very full very quickly and struggling to eat more. This plagues me every day. It's a little bit better in the morning, but yeah, it's not good. I eat like 4 bites of something, and if I'm remotely anxious about anything else, it will be 4 bites of something and unable to finish. And then I take forever to eat food. It takes me about 40 minutes to eat like a pack of super noodles or like a pot noodle. That size of noodle takes me so long. It's not like an instant quick snack for me, it's most of an hour. That was another point as well of taking ages to eat. I eat slowly, tiny bites, just at a tentative pace. Another way it presents itself to me is missing meals when I am focused on something else, or I am anxious, or I just forget. Food is not always on my mind even when I'm hungry, so I usually eat like 2 meals a day. I try not to. I try to remember to eat. Like lunch is what gets forgotten. Breakfast is my favourite meal of the day, and dinner is kind of like a easy one to remember, but lunch often falls between like 2 and 3 o'clock because I've completely forgotten. So that doesn't help anything. I find eating to be a chore. I was saying this the other day, that if I could get away with just not eating and just being able to function with like no food, that would be great. Like if there was a magic button that I could just press and just be like nourished, I would take that. Like it would be, that's my ideal situation. The actual physical eating, I can't be bothered. I don't want to. I want to be fed, I don't want to feed. Sensitivity to some textures is also a thing that ARFID has given me. It's more the ones like things like peppers that have like a tough skin on the outside, like a fibrous one that can get stuck to the roof of your mouth. For some reason my brain is like, if you eat these, it will get stuck to the roof of your mouth and it will make you be sick. It doesn't make sense when you actually say it, but that is what my brain has decided is going to happen. So I kind of eat those things very carefully because I like the taste. But sometimes if I'm anxious, those foods will not be eaten, but sometimes I just want to eat the foods. So I will just eat those extra carefully, and just, I'm like aware of every bite and every swallow, and I hate it. Another sign and symptom of ARFID that affects me is appearing to be a picky eater. Those were in quotation marks. And yeah, I do look like a picky eater because I will pick stuff out of food if I don't want to eat it. And I had it growing up as well, as being called a fussy eater. I don't think I'm that fussy anymore when it comes to like the range of foods, but the restrictions I put on myself kind of make it a fuss. Social events around food are not my favourite. I'm not hyped. I'll go if someone's like, hey, do you want to come for dinner? I'm like, I guess, yeah, because I want to hang out with people, and if they want to go and eat, that's fine, but can we do something else? I don't like it. It's not my favourite. Weight loss and low weight is also a sign and a symptom. I've sort of talked about it and hinted at it that, like, yes, I am a low weight. I am unhappy with the way my body looks because I feel like I look too thin, and I definitely do. I got weighed at the doctor's the other day, and no, not my favourite. So that's part of why I'm working out, is to make the body that I have a bit more toned, and then kind of encourage my body to be hungrier. But it's a daily battle to get a balance between eating enough to work out, to bulk up, without losing any weight. I think it's gonna kind of yo-yo a little bit, but Anxiety when eating and having small bites and chewing a lot. I have kind of already discussed this, but yeah, I am a finicky eater. And then lastly, the last way that it affects me is nutritional deficiencies and needing nutritional supplementation. So I was talking about having a B12 injection. I don't help myself because I am pescatarian, so I'm just not getting enough B12, and I need a supplement for that. And also, when I last got my bloods done, I wasn't eating enough protein. I didn't realise I wasn't eating enough, so now I'm kind of hopefully remedying that situation. Haven't had a blood test to confirm yet, but hopefully that's kind of fixed. The only signs and symptoms listed on the Beet website that I don't have are like things about colours, having like beige foods. I like a colourful dinner plate, like sweet potato, great, sweet corn, great, red pepper, great, all the peppers, great. Just give me colour, that's great and that's fine for me. And eating different to everyone else at meal times. I used to, as a kid, have a really, really limited diet, as I said. So everyone else would be having like this wonderful dinner and I'd be like chicken dippers and chips. I don't do that anymore, largely because I don't think I've been in a situation where, when I went home for Christmas, I just ate what everyone else ate in just smaller quantities and then just like ate more if I was hungry throughout the day. It kind of used to be a problem, but now it's not. It's not a thing that I really think about unless one of them is like one of my actual absolutely no trigger foods. So if you've been with me for a while, you will have seen the Am I Allergic to Rice saga, because I think when I was a baby, rice used to make me sick, and then I was just kind of raised with my parents, well, more so my mum, but everyone else, saying that like, oh yeah, rice will make you sick, and obviously I have emetophobia, so I will avoid foods if you tell me they will make me sick. So I avoided rice and was like, yes, I'm allergic to rice, and then when I said it to that allergist, she was like, that's weird, and tested me for it, and it turns out not actually allergic to rice, apparently. I need to do a food challenge. Very scary, because I lived my life for 20 odd years being like, oh yeah, rice will make you sick, so I've internalised that. So now I've avoided it every single opportunity, and I don't want to. I mean, I do want to. The end goal is to know for sure whether I can have rice, but getting to that point, if I could just skip like a year And like in that year I do the food challenge and then find out at the end of that year and I just skip to that point, that would be ideal. But no, I have to do the scary thing. I don't want to do the scary thing. That's kind of me and my ARFID experience. There's limited treatment options available where I live. And I also have the added issue of it not being on my records because they deleted them. So if you're new here, hi, I'm trans. I changed my name and then they listed me as male and deleted all like 18 years plus of my medical history for funsies. And it was noted on those old records, but it's not noted on my new ones. And I just haven't, it's been really low priority of putting it on because the treatment options not great. So it's not really a huge issue, I don't think. I will at some point get it put back on. It's just finding a doctor that's like, if I say, hi, I have ARFID, and they're going to be like, oh, okay. But yeah. Treatment-wise, it is a mental health condition. It is in the DSM-5. There is lots of support available depending on why you have ARFID or what your trigger is or your association with it. So if it's an autism thing, you can get support for that. If it's an OCD thing, you can get support for that. If it's anxiety, you can get support for that. But the only thing that I've ever been offered for my specific issue with ARFID, the emetophobia, is exposure therapy. I don't think that's helpful. I don't really know what else to say, because I haven't really integrated with the part of the community so much. I don't know what people want to know. If you want to know anything, this is just kind of a confessional, I guess. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section below. If I've missed anything glaring, there will be there'll probably be a follow-up video anyway. Yeah, put questions and stuff down in the comment section below, and while you're there, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a new video. Videos go up every Saturday at 6 PM UK time with at least one bonus video every single month. And there will be some links in the description down below if you want to know more about ARFID and for some resources on eating disorders and Eating Disorder Awareness Week. Help is available if you need it. See you!